we was in LA, and I probably had made in like a week 100 beats. And then that nigga went through like 80 of them bitches. He went through, I was sick in my stomach. I was so mad.
Name a time during a session an artist pissed you off.
Artists pissed me off. Some people don't want to be in the studio for 12, 13, 14 hours a day working on a song. Like,
anyways, man, welcome to the show. Y'all already know we got Coop in the cut. For y'all that don't know, super versatile producer, but y'all gonna know after this interview. But for y'all that do know, we gonna ask the right questions on this one. With that being said, I'm gonna let Mimi break the ice a little bit.
What's the most unexpected thing in your playlist that people might find?
Maybe Kane Brown. I listen to Kane Brown, a lot of country artists. It's fire. I don't think people expect me to listen to that, but I like Kane Brown. He's hard.
If you could collaborate with any producer or artist from any genre, who would it be and what kind of project would you want to create together?
Can I pick a producer and an artist together?
Yeah.
It would probably, at this moment, it'd probably be like Timbaland. Like, work on something with Timbaland with like Ye. Back in like old Ye. Like from like Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. We just do something on, not that type of vibe, but that, when he was in that space. Like, and with Timbaland though. That'd be dope.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, I feel like the song that's on that'll be stupid crazy, for real. Yeah, so, hell yeah.
I was watching your first interview. You was talking about like your favorite producer duos, and I think you mentioned Tim, Pharrell, and Southside. Are those like your favorite like inspirations?
Yeah, so Southside is my favorite producer. He's really my favorite producer just because he, to me, like theory-wise, he doesn't have any like, I don't think he knows theory as far as that, but he's able to find pockets where he just makes some of the craziest beats ever, and artists fit in that pocket like perfectly. So I feel like he's one of the most like naturally talented producers ever. Southside is, to me personally, and I feel like that's what my sound came from, his sound more than anything, because it's like he was like very like simplistic and just able to find crazy pockets and crazy bounces. If you know anything about Southside's beats, bruh, he has the most craziest bounces you'll ever hear. So like that's like my favorite, but yeah. I love Timbaland and Pharrell too. Like they're like goats. Metro too. Metro's in that category. I feel like Metro set the blueprint for all of us producers, like how to work on shit.
You were saying like what artist it was? You said Southside and Thug was your favorite duo.
Bruh, yes.
It's a weird take, but it kind of makes sense. Now you named an earlier song, like a way earlier
Big
song,
Racks.
but yeah.
Bruh, if you go back, listen to Slime Season 1, 2, not 3, because London did 3, but 1 and 2. If you listen to those Southside beats on one, like Rory with Lil Ralph, and then just some of the other beats they did, Be Me, See Me, that's Metro and Southside, and then you go listen to Big Racks on the second project with Lil Uzi, bro, those are some of the craziest, just, they're simplistic beats, but they just so fire. Like I'm not gonna lie, that's really the reason why I wanted to like start producing. Like that's one of the reasons. Like hearing them Slime Season tapes and hearing those particular beats from Southside, those 2 tapes, and then Future 56 Nights. Like that was heavy. Like, oh nah, Southside is on a different.
I ain't gonna lie, 56 Nights birthed a lot of. I was one of them ones that got birthed from 56 Nights. I remember listening to that shit back in Millersville, 10th grade year, and I'm just like,
Me No Compadre, 56 Nights the song, Right Now. Like, bro, just anybody who's a producer, go to listen to the bounce on Right Now. I think it's called Now or Right Now on 56 Nights. Craziest drum bounce Southside ever did. I promise y'all, everything I love.
It's an album I go back to now, but I didn't like it. I'm trying to find it. I did not like that shit when it first came out. But
it's from Future.
Yeah, super slimy.
Oh, what? You like?
I ain't gonna lie. When it first came out, I ain't like it. But my boy Cloud played a song in the car. It's like 2 years ago. He played a song. I'm like, where this shit from? He like super slimy. And every time we brought up Future like debate, I always say, nah, super slimy was trash.
That's
and
crazy.
then I went back and listened to the album, and that's definitely like in my playlist. That's what
You know what the song is?
Yeah, it's in my playlist. Hold on, let me find it. 3.
3? Yeah, playlist. Oh, nah, yes.
He played that shit in the car. I was like, damn, what song that is? And I was like, damn, that shit dropped a lot of years ago. I remember shit on that album.
But did Southside produce that?
Hold on, let me see.
Who produced that?
But I know it's some songs that Southside did produce on there.
Oh yeah. I think he did Paddock Water with DY in them. I
Yeah.
think he did that.
No, Southside did do this one with DY.
Okay. Hell yeah, I'm telling you, bro. He's just, I feel like he's he's not an underrated producer, but he's just more like, he don't really care about like the limelight type. He just want to make the music and do what he do. Like from what I seen, he ain't really trying to just be in everybody's face. But he's goated, bro. For real, for real.
For sure. What type of what production tips or what did you learn from Timbaland for real that you use in your production now?
Well, separate things. Pharrell, more melody, like how to. So melody is king in music. So like a good melody will attract a rapper, a singer, and as well like us as people. Like it'll attract our attention. So melody is always. Can you have a good melody on a beat that's like infectious but still simple? It's always gonna garner like more attention from just different people, different races, everything. So I kind of learned that from Pharrell, from their side, Pharrell and the Neptunes, just their side, and then Timbaland is just the bounce, bro. Like if you listen to Timbaland stuff back in the day, he had some of the most like weirdest sounds you'll ever hear in his beats, and it might be just one thing just hitting at a certain moment that just is just weird and crazy, but it just makes the whole beat. So it's just the bounce of the drums. Timbaland to me, he had good melody as well, but his thing was like the bounce, like how the beat reacts to the melody. Like I feel like that's the thing that producers really need to learn. When you hear your melody, you need to know how your drums are supposed to bounce off that melody. So that's like a big thing that I learned from him.
I feel like based off like your 3 inspirations, it kind of like sets the stone on why you like so versatile. Cause so viewers that probably don't know, when they see this, they think, okay, they're gonna talk about Nudy the whole time, but people don't even know about the Kenny Mason collection of songs y'all got.
For sure.
I be fucking up his name, Suave.
Suave, yeah, that's my boy, that's my brother.
Nah, facts, man. I ain't gonna lie. When we did the interview, when I hit you and said let's do the interview, I was like praying. I said, now I really want to know who made Grammys. When I looked and said, I said, damn, he ain't on there.
No, I ain't made Grammys. Nah, I forgot who made Grammys, but that's a crazy record. It's a crazy record.
Fire. That's the record I was playing in the car. Well, I heard in the car, and I was like, damn, who the fuck is this? And I was like, this shit hard, especially when the beat changed and shit.
Yeah, Suave cold, bro. Cold.
Yeah, for sure.
You know how to pick his beats, he cold.
So to kind of get into it, let's start off with Nudy as the first artist. Just kind of talk about y'all relationship and how y'all kind of worked together throughout these years.
So, me and Nudy, we met through a mutual friend. It's kind of crazy. I was working at like a call center or whatever, and my homeboy at the time, Johnny V, I call him Johnny Boy, but he's known as like Johnny V. He was a promoter. He introduced me to Rico, this dude named Rico, and Rico at the time was Nudy's like assistant. So, Rico just was like, man, send me some beats for Nudy. Nudy's working on a new project. Send me some beats. Let's see what you got. I was like, all right, bet. So I sent him some beats, and he hit me back. He's like, I don't even know if he sent them to him. He was just like, these beats is cold, bro. Like, you hard, you too hard, you different. I was like, bet, appreciate you. He was like, pull up to the studio and just play some beats. So I was like, okay, bet. And I played some beats, and me and Nudy did a song that it's actually my favorite song that we've done ever, just period. But that first night I put up, we did a song, and that's kind of how we got started, like how our situation got started. It's kind of funny. I always tell this story, man. So I quit my job, and I was like, I'm gonna follow my dream. But Nudy was like, bro, all these beats is ass. These beats is trash. So I was sweating for a minute, but I really just stayed with the course. I was like, I know I'm not trash. He's just not fucking with what the beats that I'm giving him, so I got to just figure it out. Mm-hmm. And that's really what I did. And it's kind of crazy because around the time I did figure it out, 2019, the first couple songs that came out of that was Blue Cheese Salad and GTA Lifestyle. That's like when I kind of like hit a stride with him. That was like end of March, beginning of April. And then he was like, oh, these beats is hard. This is different. I ain't heard shit like this before. Okay. And we kind of just like hit a stride after that. And then we was just locked in. We've been locked in working ever since then. It was 3 months of hell because I was like, dang, I ain't got no money. I done quit my job. I got kids, but I'm looking stupid. Like, well, I ain't getting no money in. And it worked out for the better. I'm glad it happened that way because it's just like, you just got to stay dedicated. Whatever you're trying to do, it don't matter the situation at that point. You just got to stay dedicated to what you're trying to do and just get better. That's really what I did. Got better.
Nah, facts. I ain't gonna lie. I know the Nudy since back then, but I ain't really started listening to Nudy until, like I said, my boy put me on to you.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, I don't know song I like by Nudy is like EA. But then I was in LA. This was when we was in LA during
For
Grammy
Grammy.
shit. And Alec was in the car just playing straight Nudy. And I was like, man,
Man,
this
that's
shit kind of
crazy.
fire. I went back home and my boy, he in the car, he playing straight Nudy. So then I was like, he put me on Impala.
Oh yeah.
And then I just started going back and just listening to a fuck ton of Nudy. But we talk about this. I think I talked about this shit on the podcast with Matt Taz and Presley P. We was like, who was like the artist, like you hear stories about to work with type shit. He was like
Yeah.
Thug. And we say another artist when it comes to playing beats for it, and you'll sit there, and if you don't really know what's going on, you'll just sit there and be like, damn, it's Yachty.
Yeah.
But I feel like Nudy definitely on that list too. Cause I was watching a live stream and Nudy just playing beats and shit. He was like, man, y'all don't know Coop and them niggas, they go through this shit. He named another nigga Coop and you and
20 Rocket?
Mojo.
Mojo, yeah.
He was like, man, Coop and Mojo go through this every day. He's just going through beats, he listens to beat like next one.
5 seconds. He might, man. I remember one time we was in LA. This was like last year too. We was in LA and I probably had made in like a week 100 beats. And then that nigga went through like 80 of them bitches. He went through, I was sick to my stomach. I was so mad. But I mean,
That's 4/5 of your beats. That's crazy.
and you got to think like at the time, like I'm not sending these beats to other people because Nudy has his own sound. I can, of course, but it's like I just sat here and made 100 beats and you went through 80 of them and picked one. Like, but I'm gonna tell you, with that being said, it's like that shit is important because Nudy is like he make you better with that because it's like you think this is your hardest shit. You think he finna change the world with this beat, and that nigga come in and be like, listen to 2 seconds of it and be like, bro, this beat is ass. And cut it off. You be, bro. So it's like, and then it helps you in the industry that we're in because like, bro, the industry, bro, like it's tough out here. Like you gotta be the best. You gotta want to be the best. You gotta have the best beats. So it's like you can't be like so connected to your beats. Like I got the best. You got to be able to take criticism with what you got going on just to get better. Because I feel like he made me better. Because like sometimes even now I make a beat and I'd be like, is this really hard? Like, do I fuck with this? And I'd be like, this might not be. I need to go harder and make some crazy shit for real. And then he'd be like, boy, this is it. So it's like he pushes you as an artist and producer. Even me, I push him. Like you gotta push each other to go beyond what you like normally doing. Like just because you make something fire and other people think it's fire, it might could be better. You know what I'm saying? So that shit make you sick, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it for real. I ain't gonna lie, he did that one time. We was in LA. This was like 2020. And bro, I probably made more beats than that. It was a week of making beats. He went through all the beats, every last one of the beats, then picked one. He was like, all these are trash. And then he was like, you need to go make another beat. And I made Child's Play. That was the first beat I made. I was like, man, I gotta go in. Made Child's Play, and him and Savage got on it. So it's like,
what do you think what do you think his ear is listening for when he listening to beats? Like, is it a weird sound that he's or is it a melody, or like what is his ear trying to catch?
I think it's more if he's trying to get something that nobody else has. Like a lot of artists, if you think about all the artists that you kind of name, like Thug and him, and just people. Man, I put another one in there, V's, because he's like my favorite artist. Like V's and Lucky, those are my favorite artists, like newer artists out right now. Like they always pick beats that you can't hear from anybody else but them. Like it's certain artists, I don't want to name no names, but it's just certain artists that it's like, oh, I can hear so-and-so on this beat. I've heard this beat. It's like Thug, Nudy, B's, Lucky, like they always pick beats. It's like, bro, I cannot get this unless I come here. So that's why I fuck with it. It's just they particular. I don't think it's really a sound. It's just beats that you just can't hear from nobody else. Beats that are just for him, like tailor made for him.
I feel like Nudy love goddamn, like I don't want to say flutes, but anything that's like playing like a flute or a whistle, like a lead sound.
Yeah, he likes. I would call him like whimsical beats. He likes that for sure. But you'll come in there with a flute beat and he'd be like, man, this ain't it. Bro, I done did that a couple times. We caught one of my favorite ones that we did, Brussels sprouts. Like, but it was just, I feel like it was the time that we were on. We was on some like shroomy, get lit, get high type, and that just matched. But he does like those type of beats, but you never know with Nudy. I'm telling you.
Nigga said Brussels sprouts. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what song you talking about, but I do know Nudy got some crazy ass titles. Like,
Yeah,
what the
where did he
craziest
get
title
these song
he got?
titles?
I don't know, but it's just him. Cause he got loaded. Like I think his first
Loaded Baked Potato.
Loaded Baked Potato. He
That
got
song ran my college freshman year.
Nah, facts. I ain't gonna lie, me too. Like, bro, I was working then, but like everybody that I knew loved that song. They was like, "This is my favorite Nudy song." So like, Loaded Baked Potato, Blue Cheese, just
He be
different one, Hot
hungry.
Wings.
He be hungry.
I think
or
it's just a thing.
something.
You know what it is? Like in rap, I feel like certain titles make your stuff stand out. Like Drake with the timestamps, like
Yeah.
4 p.m. in Calabasas, or with Nudy, of course, with the food. I'm trying to think of another artist. What's another artist that has something like that? Like they have like just a song that just means something. It's just I think it's just a thing. Like, but I think it's a good thing because it makes people more interested in like this is something different. Like what is he gonna talk about on this song? I think it's
Yeah.
fire.
I know you big off of like creating music out the vibes and stuff. I don't know, was it peaches and eggplants? But I know it was some story you was telling either your beat breakdown or in your last interview you was just talking about like how the vibe made that whole song.
Shit. I'm trying to think. Shit, it's a lot of songs that was made like that. I mean, Peaches. Personally, I made the beat at my mama's house in my draw, so that initially wasn't like it. We weren't vibing out. I was just trying to make some shit lit. But when we made the song, for sure, it was a vibe. It was like girls in the studio. We had but for some reason, Nudy got on this crawfish boil thing. I don't even know. Like he just wanted to eat. We ate crawfish for like 6 days straight, but like crawfish boil, crab boil. We was on that vibe. People just, I'm taking shroom gummies, shrooms, vibing in the studio. Like it's just a vibe. I feel like the best music gets made like that. Like it's not so much about we got to go in the studio and work the hardest we can. You want to do that anyway every day, but it's like the vibe creates the song. Like, and in those moments, the song will create itself. It's not like you're trying to force a hit out or you're trying to make a good song. A good song is gonna come out of the vibe. Like you got just good energy around everything. A lot of songs Passion Fruit came out like that. Passion Fruit, I was posting like me playing the piano on Instagram, and I was like, damn, I want to get back more into my R&B bag because I don't be in that. Went to the studio that day, Nudy like, shit, let's make some R&B my way. And I was like, for real, you trying to make some shit like that? He like, hell yeah, let's make some shit. Made the beats from scratch, like on the spot, just vibing, just chilling, talking, laughing, not even really paying attention to the beat, just talking, laughing. And then Passion Fruit came about. So it's like the vibe will carry the song more than just like you trying to go in there and like we have to make the greatest song ever. I think that hurt the song when you go in there like we gonna make a hit, we gonna do this. Nah, it's just vibe. Like vibe out, try to create the best song. You can do all the extra tedious shit on the back end after the song is done. But just the initial process, vibing just creates a whole nother world to the song. For real.
No, that's fine.
For real.
So I kind of want to switch lanes, going to Kenny Mason here.
You're not gonna ask that last question first, because I was gonna ask it before we get into that.
Oh, you go ahead.
All right. So before we get into Kenny Mason, for any producers like looking to work with Nudy, what a piece of advice did Nudy give you that you could pass on to them?
I feel like he answered that.
What was it? Wait, say what you gonna say?
Had 300 beats ready.
Yeah, have about 300 beats ready. Don't send no beats that you can hear anybody else on, specifically him. And simplify. That's with any artist though. Just simplify your drums, simplify your patterns. Like you don't need 1,000 perks and 1,000 drum rolls on a song. It just needs bounce. Just keep it simple.
Nudy be like ever just playing like Nudy got like an email, like an engineer email that's flooded with beats from like random people y'all be going through sometimes.
I don't want to get the wrong one because they do get flooded. Dang.
I was gonna ask what it is, but how many Lil Baby type beats in there?
Oh man,
triplet beats.
Shit, probably a lot of shitload. Because I mean, people just with artists, it's a good thing really to study the artist that you want to work with. Like any artist that I get in with, like Nudy, I was a fan of Nudy before I got with him, so I didn't really have to study. But when I got with Kenny, my manager introduced me to Kenny. I just went home and studied, like just listened to all his shit, not to make beats like he already has, but to understand his taste level. Even like Lucky, like me and Lucky just did some shit recently that dropped this. Like I was a fan first, but I listened to his shit all the time. I was like, oh, these are the sounds he like. This is the vibe he be on. Just study the artist. If you study the artist and know what general like lane they like, you should be able to get a beat in with them.
So that being said, go ahead and get into the relationship with you and Kenny. I know you say you Your manager introduced him to first.
Yeah, my manager KJ over there, he introduced me to Kenny in like 2019. So with me and Kenny, I first heard of him at Patchwork Studio. My manager played his beat for me and was just like, "This kid is crazy. He's next. He can rap. He can sing. He can do hip hop shit. Like he can do rock shit." And it just intrigued me that he was just so different. When I the first song I heard before it came out was Angelic Hood Rat. That's the first song I heard. So I was like, "This kid is different. Like he is that and Metal Wings actually." And I was like, "He's so different." So I just kind of like tapped in with him. Like I met him through my manager and he just tapped us in. And me and Kenny worked a little bit at first. Like we worked on some music, but it didn't really click. I pulled up to his house. It didn't really click at first. We just like, oh, I fuck with him. He fuck with me. And then it's kind of a song that leaked actually kind of like put our relationship together. I made this beat called Ascend and it leaked on YouTube, but I sent him that beat and he hit me back like, "Hey, bro, this beat is nuts. We gotta really lock in and make some shit because this is like what I'm on right now."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Bet." And then we tapped in from there, and then we've been tapped in ever since. It was really just like my managers put me on them, and I linked up, and we linked up in at LA one time. And after I sent that beat, that it leaked on YouTube. Y'all can go listen to it. Listen to Sand by Kenny Mason on YouTube. That was like the first beat that really locked us in. And after that, we've been rocking ever since.
I'm trying to find the song. 'Cause I just heard of Kenny Mason like a couple months ago, but it was y'all song. I'm trying to find it. It's probably the most popular one y'all got right now.
I got.
Yeah.
Nah, I fuck with I got. That's one of my favorite songs.
But when I went back into his catalog, started listening to shit, my favorite song probably got to be
Hunny that's your favorite song?
It's just the way the drums and the shit reverses shit like.
Yeah, nah, that's funny, bro. Hunny that's a crazy story. So I'm a real fan of music. So when I hear artists that I like, I'm always like, I'm trying to work with them. Like that's just how I get down. I'm like, if I hear artists I like, I'm like, I gotta work with them. So around that time, I heard about Tony Snow. So I was like, this plug R&B, how he doing his shit is crazy. And Ken and him are real close. So I'm like, bro, we got to do a record with him, bro. Because he fought his plug and beat, how he raps on it, it's just fire. So Ken was like, should I call him today? Like, I have him pull up, we'll record something. So I was like, bet. But I didn't have no type of beats because I've been working with Nudy. So Nudy's not on that type of slower vibe. So I was like, damn, I didn't have no type of beat. So I pulled up to my homeboy's house, Neil. And I literally made that beat in like 10 minutes in the kitchen. Like, cause he was on his way. He was like, "You got some beats for me?" I'm like, "I really don't, but I'm gonna make something right quick." So I made that beat in like 10 minutes. And it's funny because the reverse was like a mistake.
It's crazy cause that shit don't sound like no 10-minute cook up, man. That shit sound like
I made that in my it's stupid. I made that standing up in Neil's kitchen. Like I was like standing up. I was trying to hurry up and get the beat done because he was on his way. And the reverse 808s was like, it was a mistake. Like I was trying to put the 808 in and like hit the you know how you like normalize it?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to normalize it and I hit reverse. And I was like, oh, this shit sound fucking crazy. I just kept it. So that's how
I know you were talking about how you big on like just making mistakes and shit. Sometimes people be like, "Oh yeah, that shit hard." You just ride with it,
bro. Because like as like creators, sometimes we try to be too tedious with stuff. Like we try to be like it has to be perfect. But I feel like there's like a surprise or like a greatness to mistakes because like, bro, Peas and Eggplants, like there was supposed to be more stuff on there, and it's like I kind of sent it before it was done because I was rushing. I wasn't intentionally trying to do that, and it became one of our biggest songs. So it's like mistakes are really, really good. I ain't gonna lie, another song, Kenny, what's the name of it? Dracula. When we did Dracula, the sample, like, bro, I was trying to chop a sample up, but I was trying to put it in the piano roll and like chop the sample up on beat, but I kind of chopped it off beat. And I was like, damn, this sound kind of fire, like chopping it off beat. Like the drums are kind of off beat. It gives like a little pocket, and I just kept it and just roll with it.
Bro, you ain't got. I got a whole category on sampling, bro. I got fuck to the questions on that shit, bro. I know you was talking about in the What's Up podcast how like you chop the sample off, and I ain't gonna lie. So about I think it's almost been 2 years, probably like a year and a half.
Yeah,
I ain't switch over to MPC. I started cooking up on MPC. You know, you could chop on the BPM grid shit. But now how I
Yeah.
chop now, I just do that shit like straight, like no grid, no
Yeah,
nothing.
just natural.
It's like a whole different process with just making samples or rearranging samples for real.
I ain't gonna lie, on some saucy shit. I really be like, I did this with a couple records. I ain't gonna say which ones, but a couple records. I bought an MPC because I had pulled up on Sunny and Metro at the studio one time, and they had me on the MPC, and they was just making a beat, and Sonny was like, chop this sample up, and I just chopped the sample up right quick on the MPC. I ain't gonna lie, I be chopping up samples on the MPC, like certain samples, and then I put them in Fruit Loop and make the beat.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I do that. That's like some shit that's just saucy. Like not necessarily making a beat on there because you can like I've made drums on the MPC for sure too, but like just to get us that old school feel of chopping. Like when you chop it on the MPC, you can really feel the beat, the chops and stuff. So I feel like that's kind of better than Fruity Loops in some ways. Like chopping it on the MPC and just throwing it in Fruity Loops and making a drum.
Nah, for sure.
I like doing that too.
I be making soul samples from scratch, and then I'll send that version, and then I'll go chop it in the MPC and send the second version.
Nah, that's for real. That's hard. That's hard. Definitely. That shit hard.
FL Slicer do got his perks though. I ain't gonna lie. FL Slicer got his perks for sure. My boy Chaotic. I ain't trying to put his Southside there, but he do this shit where it's like it's not like the turntable effect where the shit like slow down.
Yeah.
But it sound like that, but it don't sound like that. And he like, cause you know with Fruity Slicer, you got the piano roll.
Yeah.
So you can switch from velocity and do fine pitch.
Yeah.
And it's something he do with the time. I don't know, you know how to explain. I just gotta show you one time with the laptop. This shit.
Nah, that sound crazy though. Nah, that sound crazy. I use Fruity Slicer, Slice X. I use what's the other one? That's my like go to right now is
everybody fucking with Serato.
Serato, yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. It Serato. I just chopped up some shit for Glorilla on Serato, like some crazy shit. So it's like, but I like Serato, I'ma use if I'm trying to have it more like clean type shit. Like if I want it clean, but if I want it kind of like to have that bounce, like I said, like Dracula, I'm going to like Slice X, which is kind of either Fruity Slicer or Slice X. I'm using one of them, like really Fruity Slicer, but I'm using that to get that weird offbeat bounce. Like I'm using Fruity Slicer.
I know FL got this shit where I auto chop that on the playlist for you.
Yeah. I use it, yeah.
That shit fire.
I'm telling you. FL sauce, man. It's just, I love FL, man. I can't never turn my back on FL. You about to say Ableton?
I ain't gonna say, yeah, I just been using Ableton now.
I knew you were gonna say Ableton.
Nah, hear me out.
Is crazy.
Hear me out. It's just, but it's some things that FL, I don't know. It's just like, if you just put that in, if you put some of the shit that's in Ableton FL, I swear y'all be, like, nobody can fuck with y'all, bro. But bro, you can literally quantize audio in the goddamn.
Nah. Ableton is crazy. My homeboy Hollywood Cole used Ableton, and he kind of like showed me like the basics. Ableton is definitely like elite for. I don't think Fruity Loops is elite for sampling, but Ableton is. I feel like that's meant for sampling. Like that shit.
For sure.
How they can slow it down, pitch it, slow it down, stretch it. It's cleaner on it. Like I fuck with Ableton with the sample, but I might gotta tap in. But I'm gonna still make them beats on Fruity Loops. But
for sure, Fruity Loops, like workflow wise, is the best. I ain't gonna lie. When I first opened up Ableton, that shit ugly as fuck.
Yeah, that screen.
I always thought Ableton and Pro Tools just look ugly.
Ableton, like that calculator you had to use for all the harder math, like
yeah, like it just look ugly, bro.
Yeah.
But it's fire though. It's fire. It's fire. Ableton fire. I already know y'all niggas from me in the comments. Who the fuck is y'all talking about? Nigga, like, no, it's fire.
Ableton, the niggas that know how to use it, they know how to use that.
Ableton producers fire.
That's
too.
what I'm saying.
Especially
like,
the EDM dudes, like they crazy.
Be cooking on that shit for real.
For real. Shout out to Kenny Beats.
Oh, that's what he used. He used Ableton.
Yeah. Monte Booker don't. I don't know if he uses.
I think Monte uses Ableton too.
I
think he do. I think Monte. No, he does. Matter of fact, because he went from Fruity Loops, and I was at Shangri-La with him. He used Fruity Loops, and then he's transferred over to Ableton. But he know how to use his DAWs like crazy. Like
it's a lot of SoundCloud producers that they be going crazy. Like Lucid Monday producers for sure. Ableton, they cracked out on it.
I'm gonna have to tap in with Ableton to see what it's talking about.
Yeah, you just gotta get through that ugly shit, and then you got.
But you know they have different screens you can cook on too. It's like 2 different ways you can cook on Ableton. So I found that out too. So I'm gonna have to tap in with my boy Cole.
Ableton got one shit. I might fuck up how I explain this shit. Cause to be honest, I really don't know exactly how it works. But Ableton got this MIDI control shit. I seen it in a Lucid Monday vlog. And they had their laptops, and he had his Ableton pulled up, the other dude had his Ableton pulled up, but they was in the same project.
Session
that shit was synced.
Oh man, hey Fruit Loops, hey, we need that then. I don't think we can do that.
I gotta find that clip because I don't want
Damn,
y'all to
that'd
say
be
cooking a beat
fire.
it was like,
together.
bro, I don't know how that shit worked, but I just know Bird was on his laptop hitting some notes and shit, and it was on that nigga
Oh, shit.
laptop doing it. And I was like, what the fuck it is? I was trying to
Damn.
look it up. And I was like, no, we
You
need that.
you can do that with Fruity Loops because I ain't gonna lie, I did that with what's those producers' name?
Loopholes?
Nah. They produce Mobamba for Shaq West. They work with Lil Nas X a lot.
Oh, Take a Day Trip.
Yes, I did that. I cooked up like we had 3 laptops and we were cooking up on the same in Fruit Loops. But I ain't gonna lie, at that moment I was high as fuck. I didn't ask what the hell we was doing. I was just making a beat.
Damn.
But they did some shit like that on Fruit Loops. So we made all the beat in one session. But I don't know how we did that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna have to DM y'all and see how we did that. But yeah, that's some new. I think Fruit Loops just need some software like that. Cause you know how you be cooking up and you gotta like bounce it and send the zip loop file or the stems. Like it'd be dope to just you got something where you can just connect it and both of us can cook just like you do the drums. You can start with the drums and I'm gonna figure out the melody while you're doing the drums. That'd be dope.
I ain't gonna lie though, I ain't gonna talk too much about FL because most of the time FL be having shit I find out and then I be like, damn, when this shit came out, it came out like 2 years ago.
It's been out, you don't know.
Niggas don't read the manual for shit. We
Nah,
just
I
get it in.
definitely do not be. I just be going with the flow. For real. That's funny.
Especially
though.
with shortcuts and shit.
Yeah.
But
I use shortcuts, but I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I'm old fashioned. I'm gonna click on some shit. Like I use shortcuts when I'm like making the actual like when it's in the pattern.
Mhm.
But other than that, I'm finna click this, click that. Keep it simple. For real.
nah, for sure. We definitely gonna dive into your creative process, but to kind of like top it off with Kenny Mason. I know you was talking about how he's a perfectionist, and just listen to his music, I could tell like y'all go all in. So kind of name a song that you think best represents y'all collaboration the most.
Best represents will probably be Shell. Have you ever heard Shell?
Nah.
So Shell is from Ruffs. It's our actual first project that we worked on together. It's from Ruffs. It came out 2021. And that was a song where we mixed everything. We mixed hip hop rap with trap drums with soul samples. So I think Kenny's thing is he has certain songs that's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't think. I just thought of it. Another one of the things that we talked about, those certain songs, Kenny has gas station songs. So if you don't know, just look. On every project, he has Exxon. That's one gas station song. He has Shell. That's another one. And I think I'm missing one more. We got like one more. But like he has gas station
No
songs.
Quick Trip?
Huh?
No Quick Trip?
We need to do that. Quick Trip
Oh
or
man,
Marathon.
fuck Quick Trip, bro. Oh
I
man.
fuck with Quick
You
Trip,
do?
man.
Bro, he's mad because niggas don't
they
care
got a
about
variety, bro.
niggas don't care about
bro.
Wawa. Like he's mad because nobody cares about Wawa.
bro, you know my family from Pittsburgh and Philly, so you know I know about the Wawa. So
Hey,
we
so
fuck
hold
with the
on. Wawa over Quick Trip?
Yeah, Wawa for sure.
Okay,
Quick
thank you.
Trip,
I
for
said,
sure.
you know what I'm saying, bro?
Sandwiches,
I'm not
tripping.
eating out the gas
She be
station.
tripping. Hey,
Whether
y'all
it's Quick
comment
Trip
below
or
if
Wawa,
y'all know.
I don't.
It's
I'm
a
not
north
eating
south thing. Wawa's
clutch.
over Quick Trip.
He keeps saying
Nobody
it's not a
want
gas
no
station.
watery
That's a
ass
gas
fucking
station.
hot dogs, nigga. Nobody want them fucking fake ass chicken biscuits.
Either
Bruh,
way,
only
bro, I'm
niggas that
still
eat that
not
shit
eating
is
out
truck
of either.
drivers, and that's why they
Yeah.
got to get off at the next exit because that shit went right through
That's
their
why they
head.
be fat as hell. 'Cause they be eating that bullshit. But I ain't gonna lie, Wawa's is kind of resembling of Buc-ee's. You ever heard of Buc-ee's?
I'm
Like,
from New York.
what do you should know about Wawa's? It's a northern thing.
Wawa is not in the
I know
north.
it's not in New York. Y'all got deli, but like Wawa is more like a northern thing. It's not down here. Like we got Buc-ee's down here,
No,
but
people
that's not
think
even as good as Wawa.
people think like people that don't know what Wawa's, they think of regular gas station
Yeah,
food. It's
it's-
really not
It's
though.
not
It's
gas.
really
It's good food.
it's good ass shit.
It's
I
not like
would
Quick
never.
Trip. You getting a
It's not
hot
like
dog
race
that been on
track.
a rotisserie wheel.
I wouldn't eat out of
like,
either of those places.
All right, bro. Wawa
I
fine.
mean, it's different. You gotta try it. Just try it.
I'm gonna
one
try a
time.
smoothie from Wawa. I'll do that.
I mean, the food is good. I'm just saying, it's like a gas station grocery store. It's weird. It's like together. I don't know.
Hard to
It's
describe.
not just a gas station. Like it's not like eating out of 7-Eleven. Like
Yeah.
it's not like that. It's completely.
Oh, that's what we have. We got 7-Eleven in New York.
You ate out of 7-Eleven?
Not really.
I mean, I get the slushy out 7.
A slushy, yeah.
That shit be
Yeah,
crack,
for
I ain't
sure.
gonna lie.
I ain't eating at no 7-Eleven at all. But nah. But what? Yeah, that's the song.
You know, I got the sampling question. They all the way, though.
Yeah. So like that's the song. That's a song that represents our collaboration because Kenny loves samples. I love samples. I feel like he let me kind of get more in that bag because I think folks thought before that like Coop don't sample. He don't know how to sample. I've been sampling. I just ain't never used it with an artist really before. So, and then to have that still the essence of like the heavy trapped out drums that represents like our collaboration for sure. Like even Dracula's another example. Trapped out drums, heavy sampling, and him just floating over the beat.
Now, you said you was big on like the mixing and mastering process, but I don't know like which artist you said you was, but who was it again?
With the mix and master?
Yeah, like you said you was real big on like
Oh,
just
every artist.
every
Every artist. Like Nudy, when he finishes his song and we finish everything, I'm with Vern. Mix and master. We might have 9 versions. Like Gumbo, Peaches and Eggplants didn't have that many versions because we just wanted it raw. But like McChicken, Passion Fruit, what's the other one? No, my favorite, Pancake. Those had like 6, 7 mixes. Like it's like I don't really mix my beats like that because beats is a vibe. Like as long as you like leveling and panning, you're good. Like you don't have to mix beats crazy. But when you get down to that, when the actual song is done, how the vocals sit on the beat, I'm a like they know I'm a madman. Like I'm not. It has to be perfect for me. It has to be perfect at that point. So like Nudy, Kenny, I'm heavy. Me and Kenny actually do it together. Nudy kind of let me have free range, but me and Kenny actually do the mixing and mastering together. Um, the song Savage did that me and Savage did, Prove It, Summer Walker, and Sneaky. I did the mixing with Dose and Isaiah, his engineer, for Prove It. Me and Isaiah did the mixing for Sneaky. Who else? Like Lotto. Me and Lotto just dropped. Heavy with Ben. Shout out to Ben. I fuck with Ben heavy. Shout out to Ben. We did the mixing on that. I didn't really help with the mastering. They sent it off, but mixing for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm heavy because you want your there's a standard with like mixing and in your ears. We all have different ears, but I want my songs to sound a certain way when they come out, be hidden. So
All right, so the transition kind of into the creative process. I ain't had this question right now. This was straight off the top, but like, kind of just walk us through that mixing process. Cause I know we probably talked about it on the podcast before, but usually when we talk to producers about mixing, they be like, "Oh, I just send that shit out to the engineer, level and stuff." But when those
nah.
stems go in Pro Tools, kind of talk about kind of like what's your process and how y'all go about it until it's ready to get mastered.
So I will say this: the stuff that differentiates you from being a beat maker, as people want to call it. I don't know. I don't really care. But beat maker and producer, I feel like those steps, starting with an artist in the song all the way down to the mix, and I feel like that separates like the okay, you make good beats to you're actually a producer. Like Metro staying in there the whole time from the beginning to the end. Mustard, Dre, like Yay, you get what I'm saying? Timbaland, for real. All the biggest producers, they're a part of that. They're a part of that process. But really, it's just like for me, I let the engineers, because that's their job. They do most of the tedious things. But for me, it's mostly just like making sure that everything fits in its place. That's
Mhm.
what I feel like the mixing process is, especially with the vocals, because like when they rap, whether it's on the 2 track or even if you give them stems and they rap on it, it's just things aren't in their own place. Like things are kind of just sitting there, and the artist is like rapping on the beat. When you actually get in the mix, you're able to place and panning. For most engineers, I mean, for most producers, that's a big panning is your best friend because panning allows you to sit everything in certain pockets. And I feel like a lot of producers, I've cooked up with a lot of producers, and a lot of them don't be panning. Like they'll pan a little bit, but they don't be panning. I pan a lot, like a lot. I pan my sounds a lot, and it's just the space that things sit in. So I focus more on that when we get into mixing and just making sure everything is leveled and sits in the right place with the artist's voice. So I feel like that's like the biggest thing when we're working on a mix. That's what I'm listening for because I'm really the ears. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like I'm sitting down there mixing everything myself. No, I let the engineers do their job because they know what to do. But I'm telling them like this needs to be changed. This needs to be turned up. You need to pan this to the left. You need to pan this to the right. I don't like how this snare is hitting with their voice. I can hear it's like distortion. It needs to sit in this like this pocket. Turn this down 2B. Turn this up 3 dB. Like that's what I do. So I'm like very tedious. I give y'all a little sauce. When you're listening to a mix, do don't fully don't fully rely on the studio. The studio is good, but it can trick you. Always do an earphone test and a car test. Always do an earphone test in your earpods and in the car, because when people listen to music, where they gonna be listening to it in the studio?
Nah.
They're gonna listen to it in either their earpods or they might be in their car. They'll listen to it in the club, of course, but I do those 2 tests: earphones and the car, like car test. If it sounds good in the earphones, we mix it in the studio, but if it sounds good in the car and the earphones, we did our job.
Oh, for sure.
So
That's a good piece of advice.
that's my process. That's literally my process.
I definitely got them beats. I don't know if it's just my car, but I know it done it in other cars. I have a beat and the 808s are too loud and the speakers start doing that little knock shit in the back. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know. It's like doing that. Yes, I know. I
It's
know
like, bro, it's
exactly.
like if it sounds like somebody hit your car just knocked on the back of your car. I'm like, damn, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. And all cars are different, so the sound will be different. But if you play it in this car, like, I got like two different cars. So you play it in this car and it sounds good. You play in this car, it's like, okay. Everybody don't have that ability, but you got a homeboy, like, let me play it in your car. Let me see how the sound in your car. It teaches you how stuff should sound. Cause I feel like sometimes that's why I like to be heavy on the mixing, because sometimes you get with engineers and they're just strictly in the studio blasting it. Your ears gonna be burnt out. Like,
Yeah.
you blasting this music, your ears gonna be burnt out. You gotta listen to this in other space. Like, do it in the studio, but the next day go listen to the car, see if it sounds good, if the voice sounds good. You get what I'm saying? So
Something I want to touch back on earlier that you said, which I don't want to get too much into it. We talked about it a lot, but I only want to say that because you made a very, very good point in the One Time podcast. Because y'all weren't debating, but y'all were talking about the beat maker producer shit.
yeah.
And you said you don't think of it like that. You just think of it as there's levels to producing.
For sure. Cause I feel like it's a negative connotation with like beat making, like, oh, you're a beat maker, so you're not fight. It's like some people don't want to be in the studio for 12, 13, 14 hours a day working on a song. Like, and if they're making good beats, that's their, let them be what they are. It's just like, it's tiers to it. You have, your entry level people that are just, they're learning how to make beats. You have your beat makers who just like, hey, I just want to make beats. Y'all go get the writers. Y'all go write the song. Y'all put it together. I'm just going to supply you with beats. And that's fine too. Cause I know a lot of people who made hits like that. And then you have the upper tier, which I feel like is like the producers who they like want to get in on the action. Like, I want to help write the song. I want to help put the song together, structure the song. I want to be a part of mixing and mastering. Well, not so much mastering, you're not going to be a part of that much, but mixing for sure. Like, mixing, I want to just be a part of the whole song. And that's how I am. I'm like, I want to see my song from the beginning through the end, like everything. So that's just, that's how I look at it. But I feel like just whatever tier you in, you can make money, but I mean, it just depends on what you want to be. Like, there's different type of artists. There's artists that go out here and they want to tour all year long. There's artists that don't even like touring. They want to make their songs and put it out for the public and do a tour here and there. It doesn't make them less valuable. It's just tiers to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.
All right, so to dive into the next question in the creative process, kind of like talk about your workflow when you're making a beat. And I know it's weird to talk about it because you ain't got the laptop right in front of you, but I swear we got to start having a MacBook right here with FL, whatever dials are right here, so we can start talking about this shit. But kind of just talk about your workflow.
So it just depends. So most people know me. I make a lot of beats from scratch. So if I'm making a beat from scratch, it just usually starts with the sound. So it's 2 ways I do it. I either start with the drums to get a good bounce. I feel like that's kind of a fire way to get a bounce before you actually get a melody. Like, start with the bounce of the drums and get your drums how you want them to like the bounce that you want first, and then build the melody on top of it.
I feel like we heard so many perspectives on like starting with drums first or starting with melody first.
Yeah, cause like, so here's the thing, like a tip that I learned. You can make a melody, but if the melody don't have bounce in it, it's kind of like you're gonna have to think real hard to make a bounce for the drums versus like a Peaches and Eggplants to woo, 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 woo.
So you
It's
did the
like
drums
the
first
bounce
for
is
that?
already there. So I'm just like going off the melody. So sometimes it's easier to like, you might just make a crazy bounce right quick and then throw a melody to go with the bounce. Cause like I told y'all, melody is king. So everything works off each other. You got a good bounce with the drums, you're gonna find the fire melody, So that's kind of like how I work that. And then sometimes I'll start with the melody, and if the melody is really moving, I pick my sounds out. Like, I'll pick one main sound out, start with that, add drums, and then as I go, I'll add different melodies to just like work with it. On the sample side, I'm digging for sample for like 3-4 hours. I'm picky with samples, so like I might sit at my computer for like 2 hours and just run through samples people sent me, YouTube samples, anything, samples that was just the old samples that I got on my computer when I first started, and I'll start with that, and then from there I'll just chop up a sample with the rhythm of what I'm trying to do for that day and make the drums after that, like just go through the drums and stuff. So that's like my two processes for whether I'm making it from scratch or, making samples.
When I was going through the sampling, like questions, trying to think of some, I'm going through the credits on Spotify. I'm like, man, fuck, like what songs he sampled? Because it just say produced by Coop, and I don't see no other ones. So like, what songs did you make that's from scratch that we probably would have thought it was a sample just listening to it?
I don't know if I made anything that's from scratch that sound like a
Or
sample.
it just sound like, cause hold on, let me see if I can find one.
I mean, I will say this: all the gumbo is from scratch.
Okay.
So all gumbo that me and Nudy dropped last year is from scratch. There's no samples in anything. I made everything from scratch.
Any like Kenny Mason or Suave songs?
Kenny Mason kicked doors from scratch. We had a Brent Fires sample, but we had to change it, so that's from scratch. What else from Kenny? I have to look, bro. I done made so many songs, I gotta look and see what I actually made, but a lot of it's either sample. I'm not sure about Suave. Like Suave, we got a lot of stuff, but I know most of Nudy's catalog is from scratch. A lot of the Kenny songs is definitely from scratch or samples, either or. But I gotta look. I gotta see. I feel like Impala is kind of far though. Like Impala is definitely like a vibe that just like has that sample feel to it.
We go ahead and talk about Impala, man, because that's definitely my boy Chaotic I was telling you about. The only question he had was, how this nigga make Impala, bro? This is one part we love the most about this song. It's when that fucking bass, dun, 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 when the bass come in, bro, that
Yeah.
shit just be having it like, what the fuck?
Nah, it's funny. So I was actually at Kenny House working on the album that I'm telling you about, the Shell is on Roughs. I was actually at Kenny House working on beats for him for Roughs. And I had made like 6 beats that day. And Impala was actually the last beat. So I was just like, I had just gotten to like just kind of like a Memphis 3-6 bag. I was just like, man, I'm just fucking with this right now. Just this vibe. Project Pat, he's one of my favorite rappers for sure, hands down. But I was just like in a bag. I was like, damn, I want to make some shit like that for Kenny. So I was just making beats that day, and that was the last beat that I made. And it's just like it's kind of crazy. That's another beat that I started off with the drums first.
For real.
So the dun dun
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun,
dun, yeah.
that was the first thing I put in. I put in the 80, well, not the 808, I had created like this like bass. It's just bassy sound. It didn't come from a VST. It's just I made it, but I had created kind of that sound, and I put that in there, and then I put the drums over it. And that's how it started. So the drums that's throughout the whole songs, those were created first, just like that. Not even changed, just like that. And I had created a new snare that day too. I forgot about that. So that snare that was on there is my personal snare. I had made that snare that day. Like I was tweaking just different snares to make a new snare. And I was like, I'm finna use this in every last one of these beats. I don't even care. And every beat in that snare was on there. And then I just put the melody with it. And that's it was for Kenny. But it's funny because Nudy called me and was like, bro, I'm in LA. I need some beats right now. I ain't got no beats. And I wasn't able to come because I was working with Kenny. And I was like, Kenny, he need beats. And Kenny was like, man, just send it to him. And I was like, appreciate you. And I just sent it to him.
There's a lot of questions I had while you was running through it. Hold on, I got to think for a second. All right, first question. Sound is, okay, let me go back. Layering. Nah, fuck that. Sound design.
Yeah.
So kind of talk about, I know you said you make sounds from scratch and shit, but kind of just walking through that process of, you get real technical with this one.
Well, I mean, you can make a sound from anything. I haven't made a lot from scratch. I will say that I've made a couple 808s from maybe 2 808s from scratch. But you start with a sine wave. That's like how you start. I can't go through it because I ain't gonna even lie. YouTube is your best friend. YouTube will teach you all this and you can make it your own. That's what I use. I'm not gonna lie. To create I created 2 808s like that. But YouTube is your best friend. It'll teach you literally how to make an 808, everything.
Let me see if I can find this plugin. I know what it is because
They
I
got a
make
plugin
sound.
that do it. They teach you how to.
Nah, like they got a plugin that could, we making sounds at PG and shit.
Yeah.
Basically, you throw, you can do it in layers of 3 or 4, but you could throw drums or audios in there
Mhm.
and blend the frequencies. So you could put a snare in there, adjust the tail or the attack, and you could blend just the low end of that with another
Another
sound.
sound,
Trying to
yeah.
figure out what the VST is though.
Dang, you gotta put me on that for
I'm
sure.
finna ask. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see
TB
the
be
link.
knowing all the sauce.
Nah, that's
Oh, this ain't my song,
important.
y'all. It came out the song right here. You feel me? You feel me? This,
Nah,
let me see the nigga pick up though.
nah, that's fine.
Hey, I got a question. What's that plugin you showed me that we be layering drums together? You showed me and the Wizard. You ain't heard of that?
Chop suey?
Chop suey.
It's chop suey. Nah, I ain't heard of that, but that sound hard.
I'm just putting Coupe on, bro. I'm not linking to the public. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sound design, bro, that shit is like number one. I think is like one of the number one things that set producers differently. Because even like just the industry, when I made Impala, like I don't really feel like producers at that particular moment was really using, like, I kind of made like a little key bass, like heavy like that. So it's like just those little things like that just set you apart from other people, like just set you apart. So that's why sound design is important. And most of them sounds in there too, I tweaked. Like that's another thing. I'm not gonna lie. When I go into VSTs, that's the thing about making beats from scratch. If you done made a lot of beats from scratch, bro, after a while it get just like repetitive. So like I'll go into VST and have a sound like, let me see when I use an O1 Electra X. I'll go in Electra X, pick a sound, and then I will tweak it until it's something different. Like it, and sometimes it's even tweaking, not even like knowing what I'm doing. I might just turn this all the way up, turn this all the way down, just fucking with shit. Cause you can always get back out of the VST and go back in and have it the original sound it was. So I just tweak it. And I do that with a lot of stuff. DX7, Electra X, a lot of VSTs. I just go in there. Juno, I love Juno. I go in there and just fuck with the sounds.
I know you was talking about somebody asked you 3 plugins. If you only had 3 plugins in your life, you said Omnisphere, Juno, and Electra X.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie though, bro. Electra X, I need to start making banks, third-party banks for them shits again, bro. Like I feel like Electra X is one of those OG plugins people don't really like talk about or use no more.
Yeah.
But bro, that shit, you can still go back and use what's the nigga name? Halfway. You can still use his banks. You can still use DJ McCree banks.
Oh yeah. I be using. They got banks by B March in there.
Yeah.
Who else? They banks pretty cool. I think B March is somebody else. I can't think off the top of my head, but I just go in there and I use their sounds and tweak their sounds. Like that's what I'm saying. It's once you delve into like that type of shit, like sound design, is really impossible to not have sounds because let's say you use Nexus or let's say you use Xenology. Xenology is a little bit harder to tweak, but Nexus and Electra X, they're easier. But it's just like you could just tweak it, make a new sound. Like I done made so many beats. Right. All the Anyways beats was made on Electra X. I can say that now because it just is what it is. But all the Anyways beats was made on Electra X, no other plugin.
What's like a weird ass, like 2 weird plugins that you probably think nobody uses that you probably got tucked in on your laptop?
I can't say weird plugins. I mean, I feel like I use standard stuff. Like I don't use no like. I feel like I ain't got like Xenology might be one because that's like a newer plugin that I like a lot, Xenology. But I mean, it's really kind of like the same plugins everybody use. I use Xenology. I use Scorch. Y'all know about Scorch?
You talking about Jacob?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I use those. So it's like I don't think I use anything that nobody else use. But when it comes to that sound design, it's like you take a sound and you make it something different. That's always gonna like separate you from what everybody else. I feel like.
Kind of want to talk about sound selection and layering sounds. I know a lot of producers, they watch the podcast or they just watch a lot of videos and stuff, and they be looking for real like, oh, this is it. Like, oh, this plugin or is this right here. But I think they kind of just go over when it just be like, you know what I'm saying? Like what you said, leveling. And I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people used to say that on the podcast on my early days, and I just be like, man, this nigga, bro, duh, we know that shit. But then when I see other like producers in front of me doing them, like, damn, like this really mad. Like I know a producer who probably got the best mixes that I ever hear. He don't really do anything like super crazy. Like he really just level and pan. But I realize like sound selection plays a very, very huge part in the mix because the whole time you might be sitting there with like a compressor or some type of plugin trying to fix it, but if you just change the 808 out with something else,
Yeah, bro,
it's
you
a
don't
whole
need all
different.
that. I don't put nothing on my master. Most times I don't put nothing on my sounds. I don't do none of that. I don't do none of that because, bro, I be tripping out. I get on folks' computer. I be like, bro, why the fuck you got a limiter on your master? Like, why you got a compressor on you? Why you got 4 or 5 compressors? Like, you don't even need that. Like, none of these songs that came out. First of all, an artist is gonna send it to a person who's gonna do all that anyway.
Right.
After, so you don't even. And it's so funny because engineers always tell me, they like, bro, every time we get your beats, we don't have to do too much. I'm like, cause I ain't put all that shit on it. Like, cause you got to think, when you put all that stuff on it and you send it to them,
It limits what they can do.
not even that. When they're ready for you to stem it out and send it to you, they're expecting a beat to sound this way, but the stems are the raw files of the beat. So you'll send them a beat and it sounds nothing like the original beat because you put all that stuff on it. So when you stem stuff out, even if you're stemming it on the master, it's like the waveform is the raw form. So they're getting the beat how it is just by itself, not with all that stuff on it.
Yeah.
So now they gotta make it sound like the original. That's why it's just best don't put none of that stuff on your beat. Level it. Turn the 808 up. Turn it. If this ain't knocking, turn it up. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Because I'm telling you, I don't do nothing but level and pan.
So how you go about picking your drums?
Man, drums. I love drums, man.
I know you be influenced sometimes. What I really like is you got people who like, okay, you know, the Project Pat, those drums, the 3-6, that shit brought back. So you got people that straight clone it, but then you got people that like you or Metro that actually take that influence and put in your own shit.
Yeah. So, man, I ain't gonna even lie, man. I ain't gonna even lie. I gotta say this, man. I just found out my granddad was from Memphis, so I was like, dang, it was in my blood. But I love Memphis sound of, like, their drums used to be like Juicy J and DJ Paul. Their drums used to have just like a raw feeling. Like, wherever they sampled it from, it used to always have this raw and not mixed feeling. So, like, when I'm listening for drums, I just like those type of sounds. Like, the snare has to knock. The snare might just have be like, shh. Like, it might not even be like, if you listen to Dracula by Kenny, you'll hear it. Like, you'll hear I actually made that snare too to resemble Tommy Wright on the Run. So it's a little bit more fuller, my snare, because I didn't want to copy it per se. But Tommy Wright has this album On the Run, and he has this snare that's just like, it sounds like a clap, but it's a snare, and it just goes. And Kenny was like, "You like that snare?" I was like, "Bro, I love that snare." He was like, "You should make one of them snares." And I was like, "Bet." And I made it, and then I put it in the beat for him. So it's like, it's hard for me to explain the snare, but I just like sounds that are just very raw, and I feel like Memphis has a lot of that. And then I like late 90s, early 2000 sounds. So, like, stuff that Timbaland, I got a lot of different Timbaland kits, and even his kit, I got his kit that he dropped too. Timbaland kits, Lil Jon, the like sounds that he used to use back in the day, just stuff like that. For Jazzy Faye used to have some like nice sounding drums. I don't know if they're personally his, but just those like sounds. It's just very. I feel like when we got towards like maybe 2010, drums were like cleaner. Drums started to become more like mixed and polished. But I feel like, man, I'm gonna tell you another one. I don't think I've ever told nobody this, but this is one of the producers that I really like and really, really love. But I have never said his name on anything. Havoc from Mobb Deep. You don't know who that is?
He's young.
Oh, okay, man. I'm like, we're gonna have to do some studying when we get home. So you know who Mobb Deep is, right? Prodigy and Havoc used to make their beats.
I'm smiling. I know they about to go crazy on them.
Yeah, don't go crazy on he young. You know what I'm saying? But just look up Mobb Deep. Just look up Mobb Deep and just listen to that album. Listen to the drums, everything. Shook Ones. Listen to that and listen to how raw the drums like. They sound like it's not polished, it's not clean. Because back then they were just sampling drums from other records that they had. So it might have had a hi-hat on top of it or a on top of it, and they would mix it, but they would just put it in there and it's raw. So those are like the drums that I look for. You know what's a good word? I use this a lot in anything I do when I'm working on artists. Texture. They have texture. So using stuff that's not flat. I feel like a lot of drums these days that some people use are just too clean. It's just like, it might be a snare that just go. It's like that's cool, but maybe if the snare had something under it that we don't even know about, it could be a bell that's on the snare, and now it like it just has texture. I love drums with texture, and I feel like Memphis, New York. I love New York rap. Just
Drill
back in
too?
the
Oh, you talking about back in the day? I was
yeah,
about to
back in
say.
the day. So like I like New York rap now, drill, but I'm just talking about back in the day when it was like boom bap rap. Like all of their drums had texture. And then
Yeah.
early 2000s rap, like Lil Jon and them. Y'all remember, I don't know if I can say this on here, but y'all remember Lil Jon Dick Pleaser? And Lil
You can
Wayne
say
hopped
whatever
on
you
it.
want. Yeah.
Yeah, like Lil Wayne was on Dick. Shawty shit real Dick Pleaser.
Yeah.
Y'all
He
remember that
don't-
song? You don't remember that song?
I do. He doesn't.
Okay. Just she gonna put you on. But bro, listen to that. I ain't gonna even lie. Just hold on. I'm finna play it. Fuck that. I'm finna play it.
It's a lot we gotta teach TB.
Yeah, hold on.
Y'all learning that why I asked the question, man.
Yeah,
we learned it, man.
I'm just gonna play the beat.
You giving Ad McCree ammunition.
This the beat. You hear how the hi-hat sound? It's just raw. It's about to play in a minute. It'll take forever. Damn, they're doing the intro long.
The intro used to be hella long.
You hear the snare sound? It's just like everything is raw. Nothing is polished. Got a baby in there. Let me go back to it. That's a baby. See, like that. That's just raw. It's not polished. It ain't mixed and tweaked. It, man. It's just raw drums and throwing. And what's the name? Timbaland used to have like stuff like that too, like just raw drums. But that's really what I look for with using like the Memphis sound, or not even using, but just being inspired by the Memphis sound or the old New York sound or early 2000s. Like that was an Atlanta sound, Lil Jon and them. But like that's what and then even Pharrell and them, that was more of like, I think they were from Virginia. Timbaland, they were from Virginia. Like being inspired by them. It's all raw. Just listen to Pharrell old stuff. Like it's just raw. All the drums are raw. So that's when I'm listening for a sound. I have my own drum kit, but when I'm like, if I might be on somebody else's laptop, I'm looking for like the raw, hard hitting drums. Unless we make like R&B or some stuff. But if we trapped out, I'm looking for shit with texture. That's the best way to put it.
It's because they had to like experiment. They didn't have all the tools we have now.
Yeah.
They was really like the first of the first, because before producers, what were they using? Bands, instruments, you know?
They were using real instruments, or they would like get people to play and they would just sample like I said, pieces out of it, like sample a snare or sample a kick, but it have like a whole piece of it, have voices, everything on top of it. It's just texture. It's just texture. That's really the secret to like good like sound quality is texture. When something is just flat, it's just boring. Like people can feel that. You can feel that. Like back in the day, records used to have so much texture, all these different sounds put together. But definitely, I might have to send y'all something. You got to listen to Mobb Deep. It's boom bap, but listen to the
boom bap.
listen to drums.
I literally like just got into boom bap. When I like went to MPC, I started making boom bap and I got into it. I haven't really. I've been studying more like the producers and like artists and stuff like that. But I definitely
artist wise, I went with boom bap. I wouldn't have to, unless you're a rapper. I wouldn't study. I would study the producers. But boom bap also teaches you how to be simplistic too, and that's what a lot of producers are missing. They like sending you these beat battle ass beats, and you like, bro, can't nobody
What am I gonna do with this?
Can't nobody rap on that. Versus back in the day, Havoc and all those type of DJ Premier, Havoc, different type of producers. My one of my favorites, Jay Dilla. It was pockets that they were creating, because like I heard one time, I think Pierre said he was inspired by Ye and Jay Dilla, and it just makes sense because their drums are minimalistic, but it's a bounce that Jay Dilla just had different bounces, but he didn't have like 50 things on the. He might have 4 things on the trap, just moving in different ways, giving it a different bounce.
Bro, you make a great point, because like if you in FL, let's say you got a loop pulled up, hi-hat, air 2-step, snare right there.
Yeah.
Like it's just a normal feel, but it's something about boom bap, especially like when I'm making on the MPC or just anybody who, if whatever you make it on, you could do the same 2-step and just that little boom bap snare, but it's something about the swing or the pocket of how you do it. I don't even know how to explain it for real.
I'm telling you, swing is an important thing too. Sometimes it's better to not have your drums all the way on, like have a little swing, have them a little off, because it's like, I feel like it's just like meeting a person. Like it's like meeting a person in person, and you just like talking to them, and they just like robotic. Everything is like you know, like bro, you ain't got no swag, bro. You lame as hell. But when you meet somebody who like it's not perfect, they got this going on, they got different swag to them. It's like, oh, I fuck with this nigga. He cool. It's just like when your drums are always on like that, it just loses the bounce. Like sometimes you gotta like swing your drums. I know you can do that on FL for sure. And Ableton, because my homies who use Ableton, they tell me that. But sometimes it's not always best to have your drums all the way on beat. Like I ain't gonna even lie, sometimes like my snares, just depending on the beat if it works, like I won't have them directly on the grid. I'll put it on none. I put it on the grid on none and just like move them just a little bit.
All right, y'all, intermission number 3. Since we intermission number 3, let me go get a cookie.
Bro, you cannot leave nothing in this studio. It will be gone.
Nah, I'm gonna put some X-Lax in my food, man. Go ahead, eat it, man. Let's see I'm trying to show him this beat. I'm trying to show you Trife Life, so you can see why we're taking an intermission.
I wanted to do a Bangladesh interview so bad, and he's like, "Who's Bangladesh?"
Hey, hold on. Hey, Barack. Hey, Barack.
Whoa. You asked who's Bangladesh? But as a producer?
I ain't know.
He didn't know. We were supposed to do a Jazzy Faye interview like a couple weeks ago. He like, who Jazzy Faye? He young though.
All right, listen. All right, Barack, you're going to put this in black and white. Intermission number 3. All right, so.
But we ain't on the record, right? We just.
No, we ain't on the record, but. This is what happened. I ain't really getting into hip-hop. Like, probably like listen to Lil Wayne and shit, you feel me? Or I listen to a lot of R&B. Come on, that's all my mom plays. She had a little CD shit in the back. You know, she opened it, the black joint, flipping it.
I feel you.
She put it in the car. So we listen to a lot of R&B. I ain't started listening to hip-hop, though, until like 2012, bro. I'm definitely a cheat key, baby.
What?
Yeah. From 99 to 2012, it was, I ain't gonna lie.
He teach me technical, I teach him old school.
Oh, okay. Well, then that partnership, that works. Because you need, bro, old school, you got to understand, bro. This is how I feel. To make hits, you got no old school because that's what they was doing. Mm-hmm. To like be just a fire producer, you can do like new school because there's so many revolutionary producers of our generation. So I feel like, but to like know how song structure and all that stuff, because you got to think about Chief Keef, like they were doing song structure, but they was just like, man, we finna get lit, we finna turn up. So old school teaches you a lot of the technical things to a song. New school can teach you technical things to the DAWs, VST. I swear y'all know everything up and down about Fruity Loops. Like you get with some people like, how you do that? Like they just know everything from top to bottom. So it's good to have, it's good to have both. But look, this is what I was talking about, like Trife Life. It's a boom bap beat, but Havoc did this. The Daye intros used to be so fucking long.
Long as fuck.
Bro, like you got a 12-bar intro. Dang, bro, come on, rap.
You never want to sample that intro right there?
I could, but I don't know. These are all samples.
I'm about to watch her make the Wu-Tang show.
Oh yeah, you definitely need to watch that. Them too. But like samples. I ain't gonna play the whole thing, but just like that type of stuff. Like those, if you hear, like, just listen to that snare. Bro, that's, I'm telling you, when you listen to Impala, listen to the snare. Like it's a snare I created with texture, with stuff on top of it. Like I love that type of stuff for sure.
It's a dude that I be watching. He makes beats similar to those. His name starts with an Let me find him because he definitely needs a shout out. He on NPC. I think his name, not Andy. He don't sample like the traditional way where he chop. Mm-hmm. He kind of just take, like, if you hear like a piano, like he'll take a piano out that song and just take that 3 seconds and it'll be off or whatever and uses like a one shot or something. And he'll go and take like a train sound and just throw it in there. And I gotta find his name.
I've used birds and beats, bro. I ain't gonna tell y'all which beat, but I've used birds and beat as a perk. Like,
damn, that's hard.
I can't find his name, but we'll make sure we put it in the edit right here. Shout out to this guy right here, man. He be going crazy.
Nah, you got to use everything that you have. Like, even my tag, man. When I did my tag, it was just Coop. My homeboy was like, man, you should do something with it, like make it more interesting. I went and sampled a car starter. Mm-hmm. phone failed. I went and sampled a car starter, like to put it with it. Like you just got to use what's at your disposal and sample. Anything can be put in the beat, and then one shots are fire because you really don't have to clear it. It's just a one shot. It's not even long enough to even be anything. I've used definitely piano one shots on stuff. Like it might just be a duh, like. It's like I told you before, texture is a big thing. Like texture is a big thing because texture will make an average beat just sound just that much better just by texture. Like I love that sound. Like I'm telling you, I use one of like a one shot in Pancake.
All right, so I do got a couple questions on sampling, more into sampling, but you already kind of chopped it up a little bit about it. So what we're gonna do is, as y'all know, for if you know, you know, if you follow us on Instagram, watch our story, we have a new email. It's called feedback@producergrind.com where you can send your beat in. And, you know, we'll play 1 or 2 beats on the podcast. So we just go through the email, we'll play some random beats. And we got Coupe here today, so he's probably gonna listen to 1 or 2 of them, just give a little feedback, see if it's hard, see if it's anything you might need to work on, and then we'll get back to it. So, all right, y'all. So we got the first beat. This is actually the beat from our Trap Genesis beat battle. So shout out to Naj $. So this is beat. So, you know, just tell us what you think. It's like a whole nother different like type of challenge and shit, cause this motherfucker really just different, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. What, I just came to rock out. Club filled with pythons, we came to get loud. Room filled with smoke, know that well gon' get burnt. I'm in this bitch with the gang and we turn. I said what the fuck just come from? My belly so open, I'm giving up. We my gang in this.
As far as the beat,
I don't know why he put vocals in there, but as far as the beat though, what you think about the beat?
The beat was hard. The beat got a lot of spacing. The sample was chopped fire. I fuck with the beat. The vocals, I don't know about the vocals, but the beat was super hard. I fuck with the beat though. It was a vibe.
I agree. We could have did without the vocals.
All right, this is Red 2, or Ali Ride D. I don't know. Shout out you.
I think that beat was pretty cool too. That beat was cool. If I had to say anything about that beat, is just sometimes it's good to introduce different sounds so you can differentiate like, parts. So it's like, it's cool to have loop beats sometimes, like where it's the same going, but sometimes it's good to just switch it up a little bit to add a different element within the beat on another part. Like maybe going into the verse or something. That beat was pretty cool too.
I fuck with the drums. I feel like low key that shit would have been a club banger if you just replaced the melody. Like if you just delete the melody, keep the drums, and then put like another melody on top of there. I feel like that could be more like a club, like banger type shit. Like some Lotto shit or something. Just the drums though.
Yeah, that beat wasn't bad.
I'm gonna see if we can sneak in one more here, man. Hopefully Rex Dior don't sell on this, man. So Rex, turn my music up in my headphones, man. Give me like 21 vibes, a little bit, melody. A little bit. on, bro. This shit give me like old thug shit.
This shit hard though. This shit hard. I fuck with that one. I fuck with that one heavy. I would say the only thing I'll say about that one is shorten the intro. Like rappers when they go in the studio, they really be wanting to like beat to come on, shorten the intro, go straight. 4 bars, 8 bars, go straight in. You know, you could have like started the sub just when the beat starts and go in. But I like that beat because it's like it has sections, so it's just not like one part going through the whole beat. It like has parts, different parts. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. And that's just a good thing to have on your beats anyway, because bro, you'll be surprised. Artists might not like the first part of the beat. They might take the second part and make that the whole beat.
That's true.
Artists be doing that. So, but I fuck with that beat heavy, that last one heavy. Just cause it's like diverse, it's other stuff going on.
Nah, for sure. So with that being said, y'all, shout out to those 3 producers right there. Shout out to you, Rex, for the 5 beat. Now we're gonna get back to the interview.
So you was telling us how you recently been working with Lotto. How did that come about, and what are you guys working on together?
So I heard about Lotto when she I knew about Lotto, but I really tapped in when I heard her 777 project. I think it came out in 2020. And I was fucking with it. I was fucking with it heavy. I like Big Energy. I like Sunshine. I like a couple of the records on there. It's Given. I love that record. And I just wanted to tap in. Me and Nudy had been tapped in already. I had already heard she loved Nudy. So I was like, she loves his music and stuff. So I was like, man, I'm just trying to tap in. So probably like last year, when I wasn't as busy, I was just like, I told my manager, I was like, man, we got to tap in with Lotto. I got to get in. And we end up between him and my homeboy Rico again. For some reason, Rico's just a reoccurring character. He was like, oh, I'm tapped in.
Rico tapped in.
Yeah, Rico tapped in with her. So I was like, bet. So he got me in the room with her, and also her manager, Kayla. She actually like put the heat to get us in the studio too. So shout out to Kayla. Thank you. But we finally got in the studio and we just tapped in on the music. I played her some beats. She was fucking with them. She was playing me some records. Like, what you think? I was like, damn, this is hard. That's really why I wanted to tap in. It's kind of funny. We just dropped Sugar Honey Iced Tea. Y'all go download that, buy it, everything. But she had played me some records from that she already had. And I was like, oh, she's in another bag. I gotta tap in. We gotta work. So that's kind of like how we tapped in. It really wasn't even like a long process. It was literally like, oh, I want to work with Lotto. And they're like, oh, we got people that know Lotto. And she already liked Nudy stuff. So we just tapped in. And that was about a year ago. Oh, no, that was about a year and 6 months ago. So, yeah, we tapped in the beginning of last year. And that's how we came about start working. And we worked on this project that just came out, Sugar Honey Iced Tea. And she had been working on it for 2 years, but I came in like the middle of it. We tapped on it. We've been rocking ever since.
So what songs do you have on that project?
So on her project, I did Big Mama.
Okay.
I did that with OZ and Kid Master. Shout out to them.
That's a big one.
Yeah. I love that song. I did Brokey with her. That was like kind of like our first record that we did together. So that's kind of fire.
That's another good one too. She just did the From the Block performance with that one.
Yeah. I love that record. And then I did the outro, Shout Out to Me.
Okay.
So, and that was a record that was very, very special to me because that was like, I just wanted her to get in another bag, like on a real, because I feel like females get a bad rap for like not being rappers. Like, oh, they just talk about one thing, this. And I was like, I want something that's going to set you apart. And that's how that came about. And I love Shout Out to Me. That's my favorite record, period. So.
Now, you brought up OZ. Kind of curious on like, who's your favorite producers to collaborate or you collaborated with throughout your career?
I haven't. It's so funny. I like collaborating, but I haven't collaborated with a lot of producers because I'm kind of in my own world. I just be in my own world working, but I don't think I collabed with any big producers. Like I loved collaborating with when me and 20 Rocket were heavy working. Me and 20 Rocket collabed heavy. Me and Mojo Crazy collabed heavy. If I had to say new producers that I really enjoy collaborating with would be Pooh Beats and Grizz. Like those are producers that I really been like locked in with, and just because I feel like when you collaborate, it's good to collaborate with people who like the same type of stuff that you like. It's good to
Yeah.
collaborate with people who don't too, but it's just like it's easier. It's like more like
Mm.
like when you collaborate with your homeboys, y'all listening to the same stuff, y'all. So it kind of clicks. So that's I feel like that's what kind of made the album, Lotto's album, better for me, is working with them, because I was like, oh, y'all be on the same type of shit I'm on, and so probably them, like Pooh, and I gotta name my boy. I'm tripping. You know Beats by Taz?
Yeah, I
He
know his
did Not a
Instagram.
Drill by V's.
Mhm.
So shout out to him. Like, I love collaborating with him and Ty Beats too. He did Get Off My Dick with them. And he did Kodak Walk. He also did Prove It with me with Savage. So those are probably like the 4 producers that I enjoy collaborating with. And why I like collaborating with them is because it's a vibe. Like I told you earlier, it's like we really might be talking for an hour and make 2 beats, but them beats be hard as a motherfucker, I'm telling you. So it's just like, it's more a vibe. It's not like, oh, we're trying to work. Like, that's really how the Savage shit came about. Me and Ty was in the studio, and I had really made the beat, but I was like, bro, it's missing something. It needs something to take it over the edge. He was like, let me fuck with it. And he put the horns and just other shit on. I was like, it's perfect now. Sent it to Savage, and that's how Prove It came about.
Mojo's the, what's his tag?
Mojo, that motherfucker crazy.
So he's the nigga that be doing Baby Drill shit, right?
Yeah, him and What It Do Flip.
What It Do Flip. I want to talk about.
Yeah, Flip like his main one.
Yeah, Flip is his main, and Mojo's he's the second producer that he collab with a lot.
I don't want to leave out Baby Drill. Kind of want to talk about that, because that's definitely an artist I listen to religiously.
Yeah, that's my brother, man. Shout out to Baby Drill. That's my brother. Young nigga running stuff. You know.
Sure.
What about my boy, man? I got so much love for him, bro, because I just seen his come up firsthand. So that's why. And he been solid. He stayed down and he lit now. He run the city. So
yeah, I ain't really got no question. I just want to acknowledge it. Like he definitely a five.
Shout out to Baby Drill, man. He working on new shit right now. Crazy shit.
I listen to him.
All right, I got a question on it though. You know, because most of the artists that you work with, they kind of was already on the come up. But when you started working with Baby Drill, he probably was like a newer artist.
Yeah.
So what makes you interested to work with like up and coming artists?
Well, I mean, first is drive. First for me is always gonna be how hard you work. Cause like I told y'all, I quit my job to work with Nudy, and he didn't even like my beats. So it's like drive will get you far. Drive will get you further than talent. Work ethic, everything. You can be the most talented person in the world, but don't work hard. It doesn't mean anything. So like Drill's drive, like Drill just used to be around us in the studio. Me and Nudy cooking up. Like he just in the corner, fly on the wall. But when his time came, he used to ask me for beats. And that's another thing too. Like if somebody's around and they're eager, like I could have been like, nah, man, I ain't finna give you no beats. Like, who is you? I was like, yeah, I give you some beats. Like, and I gave him some beats. And when I heard him rap on it, I was like, oh, he fire. Like this, that's random as hell. He fire. So it's like giving folks the opportunity to prove themselves. And then he was good. He was a good kid. Like, cause I'm definitely older than him, but he was just a good kid, good vibe. And then you could tell he wanted to rap. Like I remember one time we was playing beats in the studio and he was just freestyling. And I was like, he wasn't fumbling over his words or nothing, just freestyling. I was like, oh, he crazy. And I feel like that has shown in his work. Like he came from nothing and look where he's at now. And over a quick period of time too. It wasn't like it took him 5-6 years to get where he's like just going back at it. So I fuck with him heavy. So work ethic, and then the second part is talent. Like if you have something that you want to do, you need to try to become good at it. Don't just do it because you look cool doing it. Be good at it, because those two things will get you very far: work ethic and talent. So that's what I look for.
What's your favorite Baby Drill song?
Man, I want to say a song that ain't mine because I usually do that, but it got to be Watching Now. And Watching Now is my favorite song because like at the time we were making just certain type of songs. And I wanted him to get in another bag just to talk about his life. And I didn't tell him that, but I made the beat to sound like that. I put that in the beat because we were just like, it was like Flip or Mojo, heavy trap, or even me, I was coming in with heavy trap. But Watching Now was more of a vibey type beat. And I feel like what he said on there was like, I don't know, it's just, it kind of touched me in a sense. And I feel like as a producer, you might know about this, like as a producer, it's a beautiful thing what you want the artist to say is what they say on the beat that you give them. Like,
Yeah,
exactly what you thinking. Like, I might give Nudy a beat and I'd be like, you need to be talking about shaking ass on this, and he make a record. I'm like, bro, we was in sync. Like, and that's how I feel about Watching Now. Like, I made that beat for him to like talk about how he was feeling at that time, and that's what he did. So that's my favorite one.
Who made that beat with him and Honcho?
ATL Jacob. Yeah, ATL Jacob. They got him and Flip got a crazy chemistry, and him and ATL Jacob definitely got a crazy chemistry. Like, they make good records together. So yeah, I fuck with that heavy. You fuck with that record?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of his best records. Like, and he was telling me the whole time, he like, this the one. I was like, we gonna see when you put it out.
All the girls love that song.
Man, that's the one. It's definitely the one.
When you rap to the girls, you got the audience.
Yeah, you get the audience.
This one he had, that was my favorite. It was before his name was Baby Drill. It was something else.
Chris Sofoel.
Yeah. It's on his YouTube. I don't even know it's on Spotify.
Was it freestyle?
It's like he mumbling for the first. You know what I'm talking?
I forgot the name of it, but I know
that shit's so fire though. It was fire. I don't know. It's maybe somebody. I feel like if you listen to a song the first time, when you listen to a song, you watching the music video, it just make it harder because you ain't even listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Without the music video,
that's like,
you feel me?
Yeah, man. He just raw talent, man. When you got that raw talent, you know how to put that on a beat, man. That's
my favorite one right now though. Probably the one that Young Nudy did. Off the it's the first song
off the Score Guide.
Can't see if I can find.
What's the first song off Score
Can't Speak Again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Remember when the snippet came out? Someone leaked the snippet. I think he played it in his notes and posted it on Instagram. I was in the car. I think I was riding Gray's crib or something. Nigga played it on the YouTube. I was like, what the fuck? This shit hard. We were counting down for that shit to drop. Like, we was like, please let this shit be on the album.
Bro, that whole tape, bro, he just going back at it. He coming back with more. But that song definitely, that's why I was number one on there, because that was a song we got to put this as the top song. That shit was crazy, though. Yeah, man, my boy Drill, working hard, grinding, man.
Nah, for sure. So with that being said, the last artist I want to talk about on the podcast today is Suave. Definitely one of my favorite up-and-coming artists. I ain't gonna lie, Grammys are hard. If y'all ain't listen to Grammys, I gotta go listen to Grammys, bro. Whoever produced that, that's a hard fucking song. But there's a whole bunch of other songs in there, too. Another song I fuck with a lot is, I don't remember, is it 4+5 or is it... My phone's on 1%. This shit dead. But it's either 4.5 or... I don't know, is it intro or 4? It's one that you produced.
You got Billy, you got 4+5. Let me see what he got on here. This is 4+5.
This one you did, it's more like not boom bap, but it's like loud drums.
That's Friends? Is it Friends? Is this it?
Yeah.
Friends? Nah, that's crazy. Shout out me and James Blake did that together. Me and James Blake, yeah, we did that together.
Kind of talk about that process, because I feel like when you compare Suave to Nudy, both incredible artists, but it's two totally different processes when you're cooking up for them. Just kind of explain like what it's like. What's your thought process and like your system when you're making the beat for Suave, and then what's that vibe like in the studio and process?
Nudy's more raw. So Nudy's more just straightforward. He's like, we're gonna pull up, we're gonna make some beats, or if you already got beats, we're gonna make it. He's gonna do his 1-2, he gonna rap on it, and then we could chop it up later, make it into a song. Or if he already has an idea for a song, he'll chop it up into a song. And then on the back end, pretty much, like I'll like take the rest. Like he'll have it, but I can like fix the rest if anything else is needed. Or he might come back and be like, I want to change this. We do that on the back end. Suave is more like, Suave want to be a producer himself. So Suave is more like, we'll do the song, he'll rap it, but then we coming in and reproducing it. Like most of the songs on that album, they didn't start off like that. They're completely changed. Probably like 4+5, yeah, but Billy had a different beat on it. I kept his vocals, and me and 20 Rocket put a whole nother beat on it. Friends didn't have those same drums. It was completely different drums. The music, everything was different. So like Suave, he's more like I say in respect to that, like how Kanye West used to do his music. Like he wants to, and Kenny's like that too. They want to build it like up differently. Like once we do the song, anything could change. They're trying to actually get the best like drums or best sounds. It changes so much. Like post-production is a crazy thing with them. Like most of those songs did not sound like that. If I played you the old version, you'd be like, this sound like a whole different song. So I like the process because it actually kind of taught me how to do post production and like dig more into that and know how to add things to a song later on versus just the initial making the beat. You know what I'm saying? So
That's crazy. Somebody that I used to work with. Do you know Tech?
yeah.
Yeah, so Tech used to tell me the story all the time about when 2 Chainz got on the Mercy song with Kanye. He was like, if you hear the original, no, not even Mercy birthday song, but Mercy 2 birthday song, he was like, the original version of that song sounds nothing like the song that's out now. Like Kanye's post-production process is so crazy.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a big thing because like sometimes you'll think something is good, but it could be better. And Suave definitely like, man, we added horns on that. I played organ on that song. Like piano, I put James Blake changed the drums. Like it's just a whole process that if you heard the song in the beginning, you'd be like, wait, hold on, that's not the same. It is the same song. So I feel like for some artists you don't need all that. They just like the beat how it is. But some artists they want to like dive deep into the post production. And I feel like for sure Suave is one of those artists. He definitely like to dive deep into post production.
What's some like plugins or live instruments you use? Well, you already say live instruments, but what plugins do you use when you're cooking up for someone like Suave or Kenny Mason? That's different from, using like Electric X with Nudy.
I'll probably for Kenny and them, I'll probably be more inclined to use it's called like JX-P, Juno, Juno 6, Jupiter. What's the other one? I use what is it? SRX. It's like
Oh yeah, SRX, like orchestra.
Yeah, orchestra. I use that. We used Contact for Easy Dub with him and Drill. So we use like strings out of there. So there, because Nudy kind of likes more. He does like more weirder sounds and flutes. So there's certain plugins that I might use, but for them, they like a more grander feel. So I might use like Piano V3 or like I said, Contact or Keyscape. Just different stuff like that. Yeah. And then I use Electra X or sometimes if I want to Xenology or Scorch for them too. But it really with them sometimes it depends on what they want. Cause they're artists where they might want a Memphis beat that they like, I want something that sound like Memphis, but then the next day they were like, I want some weird shit that's like vibey melodic. So it just depends on what vibe they on really.
It's a random question, but what's the best piano plugin? The reason why I bring this up, cause it's one song. I keep forgetting the name of this shit, bro.
As soon as you find that song, your phone gonna die.
I hope I explained this right, but it's something about like piano beats like this. Like, Boy Wonder and Drake, they got a lot of piano beats like this. Like, I don't know. These are usually like my favorite type of beats where it's like that piano on the downbeat or like, what's
it's like on the offbeat?
Not even that, but just the like that and just the vibe of the piano. Like, it's a song if that Drake did if off the mixtape. If you're reading this, it's too late. Trying to think what it is. But you get that, you get what I'm saying, that vibe, like that piano vibe. Like those are just my favorite.
Yeah.
Simplistic.
What is it, Madonna?
I think it is. Yeah, and they got that crazy ass open hat that come out of nowhere.
Madonna, Madonna. But I think it is Madonna. But I actually my homie Prince 85, he does a lot of stuff with Drake and Metro. He actually sent me that loop. That's actually I didn't do that one from scratch, but he actually sent me that loop. But I would say me personally, I would use if Keyscape, Contact, Piano V3 from the Arturia collection. Those are like very heavy pianos, and on those I do throw like plug-in. You can use RC20, you can use Thermal, you can go through like different things on it, but just like I told you to give it texture like on those. But those are I feel like those are what everybody use, but it's really tweaking it. Like I'm not just putting a piano in there and just like, oh, here it is. Like you gotta tweak it because I have done piano beats from scratch too. So
I didn't think about putting Thermal on the piano.
Yeah, just to see what it does. Like that's you get what I'm saying. See put some reverb, put some delay, and see what it does. Make it. I've done that on a lot of records though. I've used that in Portal on a couple records. It's kind of crazy. I used Thermal on Sneaky with Savage.
True.
Yeah, that's why that doo that's why it sounds like that, cause Thermal.
Now that you mention it, kind of go over like some of your favorite effect plugins or like some effect techniques you use just to. You already kind of talked about it, like adding textures. Was like, what's some other tricks you be using?
I love delays. Delays make a simple sound that much grander if you can put it in the right pocket. So I use stock delays. So I love delay. So you can use stock delay. You just gotta know how to work it. I can't tell you how to work it, but I'm just giving you that sauce. You can use delay. I love I use thermal and I use portal. I use RC20. I love RC20 because it just has so much stuff that you can do. It gives RC20 gives texture to your sounds. Gives great texture to your sound. If a sound is flat, throwing RC20 on it will make it, and just fucking with the plugin will make it like just sound fuller and stuff. So I love RC20. I'm trying to think. I use the normal halftime. I use halftime to just like I might have a might have a sound that I want to layer, and I might just halftime it and then throw reverb or something like that on it. And that's really it. I don't use too many just like plugins on sounds because like I told you before, I like the raw sound. But if I'm gonna use something, I use one of those. That's like those are my go-tos that I'm gonna use. I like Valhalla too. Valhalla reverb.
Crazy.
Yeah, Valhalla. I forgot about that. I just got to throw that in there. But they reverb and stuff is crazy. Valhalla is dope. Too dope.
Waves got it's like 2 reverbs I fuck with for sure. But Valhalla definitely for sure. But Waves got Abbey Road, which is crazy for like.
Nah, I gotta use it. I gotta figure that. I gotta get that one.
And there's one shit. I forget the company. I don't know what the company name is, but it's called Altiverb. And it's
Crazy.
like like Fruity Convolver.
Oh yeah.
It's like that on steroids. It's like,
dang. Okay, bet. I'm gonna have to tap in with that.
As far as delays though, I ain't gonna lie, I don't be fucking with Fruity delay.
I just use stock delay, but it's just delay gives your sound bounce if you know how to use it.
Yeah, I fuck with delay like Echo Boy Galaxy or like Primal Tap, like Sound Toys.
I know what that is, but I'm just saying the stock. I found my sauce on the stock delay. That's why I use it. It's crazy.
I fuck with Fruity Delay 2. It's something about Fruity Delay 3 I don't fuck with, man.
No, I use Fruity Delay 2. Yeah, I use Fruity Delay 2. I don't think I use 3. Nah. But yeah, Fruity Delay. But it just certain sounds that you use, it'll give it a crazy bounce, bro. It's hard to explain. But even on your drums, like hi-hats and stuff, because you can automate it too to where it's not as like present. It's another thing about texture. You can turn it down and have your regular 2-step, but that delay will just make it sound crazy.
Oh, you talking about putting delay on the drums?
See, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like some different. I'm telling you, it just make it, especially when maybe the drums aren't so forward. Maybe like that last beat we heard where the drums are kind of chopped up. Delay just gives a different bounce. Add to it. I like that. Another one I like using too. It's not so much for my drums. It's not so much effect you put on your drums, but my drums is like the TR-88 and TR-909, the old 808 drum machine where they used to use in the 80s and 90s. So like I be making drums on that too. Like and put it. It's a couple records that have those drums on it too, like the TR-808 and the TR-909. It's fire. Stupid. I'm gonna have to put you on that. It's hard. It's fire.
Oh, for sure. We definitely gotta trade some plugins.
Yeah, it's stupid fire. I love that, and it gives you that old school sound.
Oh, so go ahead and just talk about Heavy on My Heart, and just like I definitely want to talk about that sample, where that came from too.
Well, yeah. So that song, well, the beat was made probably like. It's funny, 2 years ago. It's like the beat was made 2 years ago, but it was made for him. It was definitely made for him because I was like, dang, I like how he chops the samples and how his shit sound. But I really found the sample is from Jerry Knight. And I found it on YouTube. I was searching through YouTube and I found it. And when I got the sample, it was in 3/4. So I was like, I'm not trying to make a 3/4 beat, even though I've done that before too. I'm like, I'm not trying to make a 3/4 beat on this sample. It's just so hard. So the way I chopped the sample up in 4/4, even though I picked a part that really I could count in 4/4 in the beat, and that's how I chopped it. So that's kind of like how I got started with it. I got the sample, chopped it in 4/4, and then I literally, bro, I'm not gonna even lie, the sample was so like I told you, just infectious about having infectious sounds. It was just so infectious. I was like, I got to put the most simplest drums on here and just let this sample just roll out. And it's actually funny because when I made the beat, there's a B section that Lucky took out because he just liked the first part so much. So the end of the song where the saxophone comes in, there's a B section with drums on that too. But Lucky just took it out because he liked just the first part of it. So, and that's kind of how the beat came about. I hit up his manager, and I was like, man, I gotta get some beats. Lucky, he was like, he already fuck with y'all shit. Just send some shit through. And I sent something to him, and he was like, nah, this is the one. He loves this. And that's how the record got about. And then I met him too. So he was like, man, I love Heavy on My Heart. So it was cool working with him. I was a fan.
I fuck with Lucky shit. Like, I fuck with that. Like, you feel like you at a lunch table shit, but it's not like with Nudy. I feel like Nudy make a lot of like lunch table songs. Like you at the lunch table, just like you in high school, you just
beatboxing on table.
Yeah, type of shit. But I feel like Lucky the same. It's just like a different beat. It's another nigga. What's it? Icy Twat.
Icy Twat.
Yeah. Like those whole vibes.
Yeah, he definitely got some hard beats too. Icy Twat. He got some hard behind beats for sure.
So it's random too, but like, you produce for a lot of artists that has like a very like unique type of style. So you could easily make like something for Nudy, but then switch that whole thinking process and then make something for like Suave or even like Lucky. So like, what sound or like what signature sound or what stays with you when you just flip like making a whole different type of beat? Besides the tag. You know, the tag always gonna
What you mean what stays with me though? What you mean by that?
So like what's always gonna be in your beats that's like, okay,
that sound that stays with you in every song, even though they are different styles of songs?
Probably, to be honest, either my drums, because I feel like, once again, going back to creating your own drums, I feel like my drums is a staple of my sound, actually. So it's like, I use my own drum kit. I don't use anybody else's drum kit. I use the Coupe drum kit to make these beats. So I feel like that carries a sound itself, whether it's the snare, whether it's the hi-hat, whether it's the kicks. You know, I've made kicks too. And then probably more than likely just, I don't know, in my beats, if you go through just my catalog of beats, I always try to put like a weird sound, or like we said, one shots, something in it that just kind of like make it different. So I feel like I use that too, in whether it's from Nudy to Lucky, Suave, Lotto, whatever, Savage, anybody, I'm gonna put like a weird sound in the beat or make it just something weird that just offsets it. It could be on any song. So I feel like that's the thing that I do that just, it carries over.
Well, to end it off, we got this segment. This one new shit right here. So,
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Y'all in the comments, y'all let us know if we should keep doing this. So we got a mix of random questions and fan questions. We're just going to speed burst them. You got 3 minutes to kind of get through them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So this is random fan questions. I think you answered. I think the first one is how you made Impala, but you already answered it. So shit, go ahead and skip that one. I'm going to try to start a timer, man, phone on life support.
I have a timer.
All right, here we go. Mimi got it from here.
How long should you play a beat for artists?
Man, like 10, 15 seconds.
Name a time during a session an artist pissed you off.
Artist pissed me off?
So you trying to tell me when Nudy went through 80 beats, you weren't mad?
Yeah. Probably when Nudy went through like 200 beats and didn't pick any. So I was like, dang. Like, he didn't pick any. I was like, I was mad, but you know, that just come with it.
One plugin for making melodies for life.
DX7.
Bro, what the fuck is... I know what DX7 is, but which model you talking about, bro?
It's the Arturia collection. I think it's
Arturia DX7?
Yeah, I think it's... if it's not V3, it's V4. V4, I think.
DX7.
I think, yeah.
What sound to you is the most iconic?
It could be the gunshots from Pierre. It could be any sound. What sound
Oh, man. Spins 808.
Spins 808?
Most iconic. Everybody still uses it in their beats. It will forever be used.
Tag story.
I got my tag. So this is actually crazy. So before I got popping, I used to just make beats, and folks was like, bro, you need something on your beats so folks don't steal your beats. Your beats are fire. And I was like, I don't have nothing. And somebody from a studio, they were like, just get a tag. So my tag was actually made by D. Will. I don't know if y'all know who that is.
Yeah, shout out to D. Will.
But D. Will made my tag. I paid him $50 to make that tag in 2014. 2013, 2014. I wasn't even really making beats then. And
that's his voice?
Huh? No, he got a girl.
That's a girl voice.
So let me say this. So I was a big fan growing up, tag wise. Y'all remember C4 with Thug? Y'all remember C4? The tag used to come in, C4, girl's voice. All right, well, I'm going to tell you the second one. That was the first one. The other one was Honorable C Note.
Mm-hmm.
Love that tag with a girl. And then I thought Southside tag was a girl, but it's just pitched up. But those 3 tags, the C4 tag, Honorable C Note, and the Southside tag. So I was like, man, I'm finna get a girl tag, man. I don't want I want a girl saying mine. That's how I got that. And then my homeboy, rest in peace, Barry, he told me, you need to put a car starter or something on it, like vroom. And I went on YouTube and found a car starter. I was like, let me get a car starter for a Bentley, because people call me Bentley Coupe. So, and then I found that car starter and just put it together, and that's how the tag came about.
Wait, so where did that will come
Timer
in?
just stopped.
Damn, that's fire. D-Dot made the Coupe tag with the girl.
Okay.
But like in my earlier beats, if I played your beat right now, it had no car start. It just had
D-Dot made
Coupe.
tags. I feel got it, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
He made.
I need a tag.
Yeah, D-Dot, you should, bro. I paid him like $50, like $50 back then for like just the rights and stuff. So and got the tag and car starter, and there it is. That's been my tag forever.
All right, for sure. So he passed. He got it through in 3 minutes. I ain't gonna lie.
Facts.
That being said, you want to go ahead and close it out, Mimi?
Thanks for bearing with us today, y'all. Even though I'm sick, we had Coop here today. We learned a lot of gems.
And
talked
if I
a lot
get
about
sick,
sound
y'all, Mimi
selections.
definitely was the one that I got sick from.
Hopefully they don't get sick. I was all the way over here though, so if they get sick, it could really be from anything. But anyways, thanks y'all for coming to another episode of the podcast, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, and we're gonna see Coop again. We might get a
sure.
cook up or
For
behind
sure.
the beat
Hopefully
breakdown
one
in
day.
the future.
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
we'll do that next time. I got y'all.
You know what I'm saying?
How y'all want.
We'll see you on the next episode, though, y'all.